Thank you very much, Mr. Yehia. And
Thank you.
as Muhammad mentioned, the importance of tourism to Egypt now, tourism plays a very important role when it comes to the economy and contributing to the Egyptian economy. As a tourism counselor, how do you see the status of tourism this year versus last year?
Actually, thank you for this question. 2019 is a very good year for Egyptian tourism. It's promising and progressing extensively. There's a substantial increase, in 2018-19. Last year, we scored around 8 million international visitors to Egypt from Europe, Latin America, and Asia worldwide.
But these are new markets? Asia, Latin America, are they expanding as markets?
They are expanding. They are growing extensively. We have like around 35% increase of 2018-19 versus the former 12 month. And this is number one. Number two, nearly during this time of the year, we have full house occupancy. All hotels nationwide are fully booked in Egypt. This is statistically.
As a tourism expert, Dr. Abdel Kader, how do you see the importance of the place we're sitting in now? And how can it be, upgraded so it can attract a big number of people? There is a sense that it could be a big
draw.
But it should be a big attraction site.
Definitely, yes. This National Museum of Egyptian Civilization is a unique location. It's a landmark. It's nearly, like the only museum, like in the region, which, plans, develops, and displays, civilization in the Middle East from prehistoric, contemporary. This place, is a landmark due to its prime location, due to its vicinity to the Anisir curative quality spring, It's very close to the foundations of Old Fustat, which is nearly new 640 AD, founded by Amr ibn al-As. We are across from Ma'ari, Nakada findings, prehistoric. And really we are in the vicinity of the Babylonian fort, which starts from Pharaonic up to Greco-Roman times. So this site is a very unique site worldwide. We are accessible, to visitors from Cairo downtown. So only 15-20 minutes to reach this location. It has been like the UNESCO and the Egyptian administration that planned to have this civilization, museum over 35 acres of land. And this site, houses 50,000 artifacts. We have only one room that has been fairly, partially opened in 2017 to commemorate the 70th anniversary of, the Egypt House of the UNESCO, Office of the UNESCO that was founded in Egypt in 1947. So it's a prime location. It needs to be publicized, promoted, and once this is done on a local and regional, of course, going to be an international attraction, and we'll have groups of multinational tourism coming to visit this unique location. Yes.
Dr. Yehia, I'd like to know from you the importance of the recent archaeological discoveries made in Egypt. How can they boost tourism in Egypt? For example, we've just heard about the discoveries in Minya, in Tun al-Gabal, for example. That was a very important archaeological discovery. Before that, there were so many discoveries in Sa'ara. There were the discovery of the mummified cats, the mummification workshop that was also discovered there, where they found so many oils and ingredients used in mummification. All these discoveries, how can they help in attracting more visitors and tourists to Egypt?
Well, actually, we are fortunate and lucky, to be in Egypt because due to its unique, and pristine civilization. I was once listening to Dr. Rushdie Saeed. He's a famous, reputable geologist, and he say Egypt is at least 3 layers. Whenever we dig, we are going to have another new city.
Yes, that was a very recent statement.
Exactly,
yes.
With its artifacts, yesterday they found, a new port, in Sinai to, fix, ships. Again, in Western.
Every day.
Exactly. Well, in Alexandria, they found a Greco-Roman, settlement in Fayoum. So really, wherever you dig, all the way from the coastal region of Egypt, because the ancient Egyptian empire stretched from southern Turkey to Nubia, and to Libya and parts of Arabia and the Sinai Peninsula. So wherever you dig in this area, you are going to have Egyptian artifacts. I was in Rome, and I found there was a temple for Isis, because it was worshipped in the Mediterranean. In northern, like Saudi Arabia, there are statues of Ramesses II, So really, whenever we dig, but this brings, media attention and attraction, because each time we are discovering, and exploring, new items and artifacts that cast light, on the lifestyle and, history and civilization and challenges that Egyptians, met, throughout, about 10 years of, of recorded history.
Yes. Dr. Abdel Kader, I wonder, again, I want to go back to the place we're sitting in here. Talk to us about Al-Fustat itself, the significance of this city. And again, I say this, and I mean it. When I was driving and coming here, whenever I come here, I do get a taste of history. This is what I feel. So and I'm sure everybody would. So talk to us about Al-Fustat, Old Cairo, and why do we call it here Old Egypt? We Egyptians, we say Old Egypt, we don't say Old Cairo.
Yeah, well, really, that was, the first settlement, when Arabs came to Egypt, they settled in that area, and that location. Fustat in Arabic means like the pavilion, with a tent. And, they needed a piece of land, and we hear about the story of Amr ibn al-As and how he obtained the land development, to establish his first, capital for, the groups he was bringing and the troops, to start administering a very sophisticated civilization of Egypt, versus the Arab world, where it was not highly developed like Egypt. And then he needed time, to go to Alexandria, because the Romans still, it took 1 year to free all of Egypt, for the Roman, dominion of that time. So that's very historical moment, because over 1,000 years, from 323 BC up till 640 AD, all this period. Exactly, it was the Ptolemaic and then the Romans. So the whole environment, the whole atmosphere, the whole site and the scene has been changing from two civilizations, Greco and Roman, and moving to Arabic. That was changing everything: the language, the attitudes, the patterns, the tradition, the customs, the food, the costumes, the religion, the beliefs, the feelings. So that was like an overnight. You are, developing and switching 1,000 years of Greco-Roman period of development and coming, they were coming from Europe, and this, new arrivals were from Asia, from the East. So it was a turning moment in the history of the world and of Egypt as well.
Yeah.
Because Arabs, they brought too many things, cultures, and then even they didn't stop in Egypt. They went west, all the way to Tunisia and Morocco until they reached Spain.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, sir, as a tourism expert, I'd like to know from you, how can we market places like this one where we're here? I mean,
Yes.
Tourism is all about promotion and marketing.
Exactly.
Egypt has been, since 2011 and until now, have been pursuing new techniques and new innovative ways to boost tourism.
Yes.
And I believe that we are still spanning within the traditional ways of marketing, but there are new ways of marketing and boosting tourism. How can we market tourism in general, and particularly a place like the Egyptian Museum of Civilization?
This unique place, which is like a landmark, really it's perfect, because I visited many museums like the Getty Museum in Los Angeles, for example. It looks like a replica. It has unique collections, but it's only 15% of it, the artifacts, are on display now. We need to do this in phases. I mean, we shouldn't rush and display the 50,000 pieces overnight. This is one thing. Again, we need a marketing and strong marketing, team to develop a campaign and to promote this worldwide. This is not enough, because locally we have, to start getting groups, developing functions and events and attractions, and especially it has a unique collections of artifacts, pottery, glassware, wood carving, jewelry, and very unique textile. We have, the Egyptian textile, the pharaonic one, is puzzling. They found, like one piece, like in the King Tut collection, in one square centimeter, it has 60 threads. And like you need like laser machines, like to develop this. And we had this like 4,000 years ago. This is on the local scene, but internationally, to develop tourism to Egypt, when I worked at the department, Egypt had 20 offices worldwide, stretching all the way from Japan to San Francisco. Now these 20 offices are only 4 offices. And now we are not going to reinvent the wheel, but if you go to Dubai, they have 50 offices worldwide. And apart from that, there is like about 45 international offices housed in Dubai and Abu Dhabi to attract, the locals of United Arab Emirates to come and visit them because they are high-end tourists. So we need, to have...
I mean, tourism is not an area where we would save money, because if you spend, you will get much, much more. So I understand your point very
Exactly.
well.
In tourism and hospitality, you need to spend 10% of your revenues in marketing, promotion, display and advertising, like communications worldwide. I mean, you don't expect visitors to come with no budget for promotion and a strong campaign.
Yes. Dr. Yehia Abdel, tourism counselor, thank you very much for being with us today in Nile Cruise. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, sir. It's been a pleasure. We had a lot of other questions, but unfortunately, the time is very tight. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We'll be right back after a short break.
Aiming at presenting beautiful and amazing art, a celebration was held for the great artist Kulthum. The concert was held in the framework of the project Kulthum Returns Back Once Again. Fans are keen to attend such concerts every month. We come here every month. We love such concerts. They are very beautiful and the songs are different from the songs presented nowadays. I wish I could live during the era of Kulthum. I am keen on attending the concert every month because I enjoy it. The Puppets Theatre presented for the first time in 2006 the play Al-Masura Al-Kibira. Then Abdel Halim Hafez concerts were presented on the first Thursday